And we're live. Hi, it's Bill, the knee pain guru, and I am the president and CEO of the Camella Foundation. So today we're going to do a body reflex hacking edition. Well, it is Monday, June 1st, and today we're going to talk about the top 7 tips on how to relieve hip pain. We're going to get into that in just a moment. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Like and subscribe to the Camella Foundation YouTube channel, as well as turn on notifications for future videos as we do these quite frequently to help you with chronic pain. The Camella Foundation is helping athletes and former athletes with chronic pain. So now we're going to get into the body reflex hacking on the top 7 tips to relieve hip pain. The first tip to relieve hip pain is increase your water intake. Drink more water. There tends to be the case when, especially in hip, when the body gets dehydrated, it doesn't have the resources it needs to lubricate the joint. And a lot of times the pain that is felt in a joint is a result of arthritis. And all diagnosis of arthritis is dehydrated joint. You could ask your doctor, you could ask your physical therapist, and you can try drinking water. Drinking water, just try it. Drink a big glass of water, walk around a little bit, see how the pain in the hip changes. Now, the second tip, that is tip number 1, increase your water intake. The second tip I got from a friend of mine. His name is Dr. Bill Stillwell. He is out of Florida, and this makes total sense. And he was suggesting using a cane, and not for long term, not for the rest of your life, absolutely. However, to get you through the difficult, painful time of what's going on in the hip. Using a cane can take some of the pressure off of what's going on in the hip and give the joint time to rest. And when you give the joint time to rest, it's able to heal. Every time you feel pain, every time you're walking and feeling pain, it just reinforces that signal of pain in your body. So we could use these tips. We said water on the first one, and then begin using a cane as a way of getting the pressure off of that hip and see how it responds. So that is the second tip. The third tip on how to relieve hip pain is working with hip circles. And what I'm talking about, this would be you're on all fours, you're on your hands, you're on your knees, and then you begin to work. Now, this is going to be small. These are small circles, but you begin to work the hip joint or making circles with the knee very slowly, both clockwise and counterclockwise. Okay, we're starting to get some questions in, which is great. Please enter those in the comments section. If you would like to go down below in the description, you can let StreamYard access your Facebook account, which will allow me to display your name. Because if I show you what questions you have going on, this is all I see is Facebook user. So if you would like a little bit more help, support, or allowing me to address you by name, you can go ahead and do that. Allow StreamYard to access that. So that is the third tip. Hip circles, going clockwise, counterclockwise, going slowly, and the circles being small. And what will happen is that will begin lubricating the joint, essentially. The more the joint is used, the more it can lubricate itself. However, if you're dehydrated from tip number 1, then it's going to be difficult for the hip joint to lubricate itself. So it's a little bit of, there's layers to this. There's levels to this game in terms of addressing pain. So drink your water first, try the cane a little bit. Tip number 2, 3 is the hip circles, doing them forward and reverse very slowly. Tip number 4, making sure you stretch your calves. Now, you can stretch your calves anywhere. I've stretched my calves waiting for my gas tank to be filled up. You have the hose and the tank, and they have those concrete and or metal poles that are right by the station there for the gas pumps. And I'll just put my foot up on the concrete piling and lean forward. And what I'm doing is I'm stretching my calf out, and you're like, Bill, what does the calf have to do with the hip? We're looking at patterns. We're looking at patterns in the body. The pattern is not only in your hip. That's where the pain is. And it's important to shift your mentality that we're only looking to address the hip to get rid of the pain. We have to look globally at what's going on as far as the tension in your entire body in order to get rid of the hip pain. The calf is part of that tension pattern. How you walk is part of that tension pattern. Your calves play a huge role. So are the next two tips, which are the quads and the hamstrings. The quads and the hamstrings, once again, you can stretch those just about anywhere. Quads, you can get a hold of a chair or a table or a fence, and you can reach down and grab your ankle, lean forward, and that will stretch out your calf. Your quad, which will, once again, help what's going on in your hip. There is also the hamstrings. That is nothing more than, you can do it anywhere you're at, standing up, you put your legs straight, and you begin to gently, it's very important you're doing this gently, reach towards your toes. And you can let gravity do all the work. All you need to do is relax into that stretch and breathe. The more you breathe, the more you relax, the more your hamstrings will stretch out. And once again, this is going to help what's going on in the hip. So tips number 4, 5, and 6 are stretching the calves, the quads, and the hamstrings. And tip number 7, and this is huge. It's more important than you can ever imagine. And that is breathing. A lot of times when we have pain, you can experience hip pain. You can experience pain in any other part of your body. But the moment you experience pain, you tense up and you hold your breath. And that tensing up and holding the breath actually escalates the tension in the nervous system, the tension in the neurology. The more tense your body is, the more it's going to be in pain. The more you can breathe and relax, it will allow the body to relax, let go, let loose. That's part of how our body functions. And the more we can understand like the global perspective of what's going on, how the hip ties in with your breathing, how the importance of the water, once again, tip number 1, applies to the rest of the body. The breath, the water, nutrition, your mindset, the tension patterns that are going on in your calves, your quads, your hamstrings, all play a role in how the hip feels. And we can begin to chip away at this enormity of pain you may be feeling in your hip and give you some tools. Change your mindset so you have the resources available. So when you do experience pain in your hip, now you can begin doing stuff to get out of that pain. It isn't like you feel like a victim of the situation, because being a victim is no fun for most people. And you can utilize these tools as a way to get yourself out of pain. If you have questions, please enter those in the live chat section. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the Camelo Foundation YouTube channel, as well as turn on notifications for future videos. The Camelo Foundation is a 501c3, a not-for-profit organization. All donations are tax deductible, and you can go to thecamelofoundation.org to find out more information, which includes getting involved, being a volunteer. If you're a practitioner that can help people with pain, please go over there and shoot us an email to help out, as well as it's for people that are suffering. athletes and former athletes in chronic pain to help them, give them tools so they don't have to live out the rest of their lives feeling bad. Okay. This is Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru, thanking you so much for being here. I don't see any more comments in here except the Facebook user that says, I have hip pain, which is why you're here. Okay, great. I'm going to scoot. Bill Paravano, the Knee Pain Guru, thanking you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next video.